All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Hurley Investments Market View Commentary for the week of Halloween, October 25th. I almost started with that recording, so let me ask that question again. Does anyone know what happened with Facebook last week that was initiated by Snap? Snap caused the problem, but does anyone know what happened and why to Facebook last week? All right, here we go. Something about advertising. Snap had bad earnings. Well, yes, they had bad earnings. They actually dropped 22%. But what was the reason about the advertising or the bad earnings? There you go. I like it. William, credit to you. So Snap reported very bad earnings or earrings. I love that one, right? Earnings. And blamed Apple's new ISO that gives consumers of the iPhone, right, the ability to turn off advertising tracking. So if you don't want the ads to track you to see what you're looking at, boom, you're good to go. But what's the problem with turning off the advertising tracking? Which means where you go on Google, what you look at, what you're researching, what you're doing your I don't know, what you're doing when you're online looking at purchases or so forth. What's the problem with turning off that tracking? Now, if you're Bill Brandner, he'll say nothing, right? They can't track you, but boom, bingo, perfect. If you turn off tracking, you don't get targeted ads, which equals, if you were to ask me, which equals the what am I trying to say? I want to say like the splattering of ads to see what sticks. So it's kind of interesting. For those that turn off the tracking are actually getting hit with more ads that are mostly not what you're looking at or what's important. So no longer are they getting targeted ads for what you're looking at or what you purchased in the past. You're now getting that throw the spaghetti on the wall. I call it a splattering of ads, seeing if you'll buy something. And not only that, but you get more of them. It seems like when I turned it off, I was getting ads every time I'd open up a browser. Every time I'd open up a new page on a browser. Every time I would go to something new on a browser, I'd get hit with 2 or 3 ads. So as I sat there, the thought process was, okay, Snap was horrible, was absolutely worthless, right? And the expectation was those that sell ads will also be hit with lower numbers. So taking a quick peek, earnings, let's redo it. Let's do it today. See how Facebook did after the market close. So they were expected to have 318. They came in at 322. Not bad. Their revenue is supposed to be 29,523. It came at 29,010. So they beat on earnings per share and they missed on revenue. Top line okay, bottom line, and they sold $500 million or made $500 million less than what they said they were going to make. So my expectation would be that they would be doing not so good after hours, right? My expectation of Facebook, they're going to suck. Missed on the back end. Wait a second. After hours, they're up 1.71%. And they were up even higher. So I'm a little ticked off because earns, where was it? Because they gave not really good guidance either. Where would I find that? They gave, basically they said, Facebook warns, there they go. Their guidance was, hey, we're going to warn. There it is. So that's why, okay. They warned that they're going to not have good numbers, but what it is, that makes perfect sense. So they warned, hey, we're probably not going to make next quarter compared to the expectations, right? But what's going to push it over? The company pledged to buy back as much as 50 billion more in stock. So that makes sense. So let me go through what happened on Facebook. Last week, Facebook dropped $22. And then they rebounded after bad earnings. Come on. Due to 50 billion in buybacks. What a ridiculous moving stock. It is, it's killing me. It just, you sit there and I just wonder. So here is the question. How many of you have ever bought something off of Facebook? How many of you have ever decided, you know what? I want to buy something off of Facebook. I'm going to be honest, I've done it in the past. And not only that, most of what I buy off of Facebook is absolutely stupid. And you got to watch out, because if you're going to buy anything that looks really good, it comes from China. It's not going to be your right size. It's not going to be properly made. It's really all junk. If you do anything off of Facebook, for the most part, it's just garbage. But someone like me buys, I wonder if I could find it. Let me see if I can't find it. Let me see if I can find it. You guys will probably be like, are you serious? Did you really buy that? It's kind of, I don't know, I find it funny. What can I say? I use Facebook, shows them a real person. I send out some commentaries and some ads. All right, let's see if I can find my most recent purchase on Facebook. Let's see. There it is. Hotbuster Shop. Collect all three of them. Amusing army gnome wearing desert tan hat and holding SLR statue. So of course I've got all three, and I'm waiting for them to magically appear so I can go hide them in my wife's garden because I think it's absolutely hilarious. That was my last purchase on Facebook. And I know it's like, really? You're actually spending money on those? Yeah, I mean, how much fun is it going to be for me to literally hide those in my wife's garden so that she can find them and be shocked as all get out that that's what I'm spending our money on. I'm sorry, it was hilarious when I decided that that's what I waste my money on Facebook. Now, there is going to be a catch. Tomorrow, once again, tomorrow I'm going to have to take Facebook, and it's time to sell off these November 21 325 puts. What we spent $12.25 for is most likely going to be worth $6 or $7. And it's time to get out, to get done with them. It's going to be a run into the end of the year. And again, we get Facebook back up to 370, 390, almost 400. It's time to pull the trigger and get out of Facebook. With that said, we no longer have Costco calls. Today, we decided, you know what? Costco has its earnings coming up. And someone's going to ask me, well, how did you make your decision, right? So earnings for Costco coming up, and today we took a profit on the leap long calls. Currently, let's see, currently where is it trading at? Figured I would know this by now, right? Currently, Costco closed. So currently, Costco closed at 490.10. And if we bring up a quick chart on Costco, let's bring it up this way. As I brought up a chart on Costco, if I go my standard 6 months, we're back up to where it had the highs. Come on, 6 months, not today. Figure I would get it the way I wanted it. There we go. We broke out to all-time highs. We broke out above a 475 level and a resistance level we've had at 470. But things didn't add up anymore. For me, as I'm going through, its previous all-time high was 486. And my Costco doesn't have toilet paper. So what might my worry be about Costco? If you could see that, what would your worry be about Costco if you're like, hey, wait a second, something's not working out the way that I wanted to, or something's not adding up here? What would you say about, hey, what's going on with Costco? Problems getting their shelves stocked. Their goods are stocked. Their goods are stocked on ships. I'm thinking he meant stuck on ships there, right? Yeah, you know, our thought process is, hey, something's not going on the right way. For whatever reason, something is not adding up. And you're like, hey, there's a problem here. For whatever reason, something is not working the way that it was supposed to. So I would most likely agree with you, right? I'd be, hey, you know what? Something's not going on. I agree. We have an issue here. We've got a problem. So we bought a bunch of Costco, 41 contracts for $40.65. Today, 7 got sold off at 100. Another 28 got sold off at 106.65, and you'll see it's canceled. I have a refute order, but the other 16 basically got sold off at 107.55. So if we're doing some math on this and looking at where it's at, 1097, 107.55, 106.65. Let's do our math and let's see if Costco was a good trade. Bought to open, 41 contracts at 40.65. Closed, I'm going to go on the low end, closed most at 106.65. Wow, that's kind of a round number, right? For a 66.65 $66 profit. Or a, let's do the math, or a 66 divided by 40.65, a 162% return from June 29 till August 10th. So basically 4 months, right? June 29 to October 25th. And all of you that were in Costco made 162%. We took the earnings risk off the table. We're not running Costco through earnings, which means if they have good earnings, we're going to do the same thing again. They have a good earnings and go up to 530. We're going to get 550s. Run them again, try to get out around 600. There's a problem though. And I should say, so occasionally there is a problem. And some of those are maybe you get out too early. Maybe the stock doesn't move like you would expect. And, you know, the biggest maybe your best educated guess is wrong. One more time, that's why we do what we do. And someone asked me recently, Kevin, why didn't you invest in Tesla? And again, my comment is, I would have a really hard time justifying on any metric why anybody should be in Tesla. That same metric, Costco, is way overvalued as a company right now. And personally, my personal experience is they have shipping risks right now or inventory constraints to fill their shelves. Well, what if they go up $50? Well, then our 162% return could have been better, but you take a profit and I'll get back in again. But what it really comes down to is you don't want your money gambled in the stock market. You want to make sure that everything you do, whether you're right or wrong, has a justification, usually a mathematical justification, so you can reverse engineer what you do. And the short answer, it's okay being wrong. As long as you have a way to make up some of the downward movement. For stock ownership, right? That equals the long put insurance like protection. Boy, am I spelling everything just fabulous. Now, a little different. For leaps, it equals dollar cost averaging and giving yourself the time to be right. For some of you, you don't have all the money that we'd like to get you into all the positions that we want to put you in. So we do the stock replacement leaps, right? Our stock replacement strategy, way out in time to be wrong. And if we are wrong, mathematically, it does not do you well to buy protection. Mathematically, it does you better to dollar cost average. And we'll only usually dollar cost average twice. After that, we need to give it time to to go where it needs to go. It's an interesting conversation. It's an interesting thought process, but the key for what I do is passion for the market, and I want to make money, and I'll be 100% honest with you, for myself. So why not do it for others at the same time? That's it. I didn't understand Facebook. And what a debacle. Watching it go up, all right, taking off puts, drops down, okay, I'm adding them back on. Now this stupid thing's going back up, all right, time to take them off again. What a debacle. All for a bunch of dummies like me that are out there so I can hide these gnomes with rifles in them in my wife's garden. I've stopped buying clothes. The clothes never fit. Nothing that it says it does on there ever works for raincoats, hunting equipment. You never buy any outdoor equipment through Facebook. You don't buy any shoes. It's all garbage. But you know what? If I can get my gnomes and hurry up and get them in here just before the snow falls, my wife is going to freak out, because not only did I buy 3 of them for like $39, if you bought 3 packs of 3, you got like a discount and it cost only $99. You saved, I don't know, 20 bucks on it. I'm going to have 9 of these hidden around our yard, my wife's garden, and it's going to be hilarious. Not only she finds one, but when she starts to find how many there are really out there, I know she's going to kind of be ticked, but these 6 little inch high guys are going to guard my yard like there's no tomorrow. And it's going to be hilarious when she screams the first time she sees one. Welcome to Facebook ads and what they're making billions of dollars on. All right, here we go. I'm a little bit behind. All right, so let me get some stuff in here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of stuff. Our stock market, we're rebounding. In fact, we're looking pretty good. Our markets are having a Christmas rally a little bit early. It might be the only Christmas rally, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average is technically bullish. Need to take that off. Technically bullish, overbought on an institutional level, approaching overbought on the index as a whole. It does not stay overbought for long, but we might see it overbought with some of the earnings we have coming up with some of these big tech ones, especially Apple. But this does not bode well for Apple right now. If we're seeing the market being overbought, indexes do not stay overbought for long, ever, maybe for a day or two. Expectation is that it's going to drop back down. All right, the S&P mirrors the Dow, except we're just touching overbought right now. Expectation again, hey, it's not going to last. The S&P does not stay bought for long, but it might with some of the earnings we have coming up here in the middle of an earnings season, meaning we could stay overbought as far as maybe, I might say 2 weeks. But if it's overbought for 2 weeks, you're going to see a pullback, and that pullback will occur at probably the worst time when you're looking at some type of Christmas rally coming up. And obviously the NASDAQ, same thing. The NASDAQ actually can't recapture its previous highs. It's going to need something like some of our earnings this week to be able to do that. Earnings today, I only put Facebook down. Earnings tomorrow. We have a ton of them. We have 3M, Arch Coal, GLW, Eli Lilly, GE, Hasbro, JetBlue, Lockheed Martin reports tomorrow. Raytheon reports tomorrow. US Bank Corp, UPS reports tomorrow. Waste Management reports tomorrow. Google reports tomorrow. Capital First, First Five reports tomorrow. Juniper reports tomorrow. Microsoft reports tomorrow. Twitter reports tomorrow, and our Visa reports tomorrow. Wednesday, Boston Scientific, CME Group, Garmin, Hilton Resorts, that'll be an interesting one. McDonald's, Spotify, which should suck, eBay, and then we got a bunch. We have Boeing, we have Coke, we have General Motors, and we have Ford. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, God, we have a ton of them. Altria on Thursday, Caterpillar, IMAX. That'll have you a good idea where AMC is going to end up. KBR Homes, MasterCard, Sirius Radio, Yum Brands, Amazon reports. There's a heavy hitter. Gilead, Skyworks, US Steel, Yamana Gold, Apple, and Starbucks. And then Friday, Chevron, CL, I forget what that one was, ExxonMobil, PSX, which was Phillips 66, and RCL, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. So we've got like a fourth of the earnings reporting next week. All right, economic reports. Nothing today. Tuesday, the FHFA housing price index. We have the Case-Shiller. We have consumer confidence. Try it this way, consumer confidence. And we also have new home sales. Because if you can't fit FHFA housing, Case-Shiller, and the new home sales on one day, I don't know what you're doing. Durable goods on Wednesday, and durable goods ex transportation on Wednesday. Thursday, geez, we just got a ton of them. GDP, initial continuing, we got the GDP deflator, and we have pending home sales. So Thursday obviously will be a huge day for GDP, although we should do better. And then Friday is a doozy. The first one on Friday, end of month. So you have the end of a monthly cycle, which usually has some rebalancing. You have employment cost index, which was awful last time, much higher. PCE prices for inflation, core PCE, personal income, personal spending. You have the Chicago PMI, and you have the Michigan sentiment. Biggest one in all of those is obviously going to be end of the month. We're going to have some rebalancing. I've got an interesting article. U.S. bill will stop big tech from favoring its own products. That would stop monopolizing or pushing that way. Bill, I'll hit that in just a second. Car makers shift up gear in race to go electric. Very interesting, and it features Ford. How Evergrande found itself on the wrong side of China's regulators. Just one more interesting article to understand what's happening in China and where things can run into issues there. Twitter and Square CFO Jack Dorsey says hyperinflation will happen soon in the US and the world. I would most likely agree with him. A very interesting article. If you ever wanted to understand how inflation can affect things, this was a great article written by Jeff Cox. It would be interesting to see where things go. The consumer price inflation is at a 30-year high and is only going to get higher because of the funds that we have in there. Not only that, Jones, Eichhorn, Einhorn, and Grunland, Grundlatch, are all talking about inflation. So I tried to put as much inflation information in here. A great read if you want to see how inflation is going to affect certain things. The short answer comes down to this. If you're in a bond fund, your bonds will be worth a lot less, and the interest that they paid out, which was so minimal, is going to be going up. So your current bonds are in deep trouble. If you're in a 60-40, not only have you not met the market returns because you've had 40% stuck in bonds that paid low interest, those low interest paying bonds for 10 years are going to be decimated, meaning be worth at least 40% less, if not 50% less where they are right now, into maybe 2 years into the future. It'll be very interesting to see how inflation hits our bond market. China's pushing to develop its own chips, a very interesting read on how they can't do it on their own. So for those of you that are worried that China's just going to pass us by, please read this article. And I love this article from Goldman Sachs that says investing in China is more challenging now, but the country isn't uninvestable. So interesting to see how it might be possible for some of us still to be in Chinese investments. I just wouldn't make it the bulk of my portfolio. A comment was made about Visa. Visa will make less than expected for its Christmas buying. And the comment was made that maybe Visa and some of these card companies will make less because there's less product available. I'm going to disagree. It just won't all come in November or December. It's already started now. I've even found myself buying some Christmas gifts ahead of time so that they're purchased and it's taken care of. Not so much that I'm afraid that they won't be available, but for example, I've got some kids that we're going to get some snow out here, and it looks to be a pretty good snow year. So some muck boots went on sale, and some really good boots to keep some kids' feet warm were available. They were 25% off. I bought them early. I typically wouldn't look to do that until mid of November. I got some early this year. Plus, my kid has a 13 size foot, so I figured, hey, I actually found his size. Why not get him? It'll keep his feet extremely warm in the cold. And I don't know, it seemed like it was a good position to be in. So I don't know if we're not going to have as much buying, but I think Christmas shopping has already started now, and we're hoarding some of those items in the closet, and we're going to wait 2.5, 3 months for them, just so we have the gifts that we're looking for certain people. I could be wrong, Bill. I noticed my buying has stayed about the same all year long, and I figure it might only go up a little bit going into Christmas. It'll be interesting to see where we end up with it. Abraham, inflation, if supply is limited, it will also change business and consumer relations. So the short answer is our dollars buy a lot less with inflation, but there's so much money out there. I still think the U.S. is the place to be because there's so much money that's out there with the U.S. that's given tax credits early, child tax credits early. I think the U.S. is a greedy nation, so we spend it. We're going to spend it. Anytime people have extra cash, it goes out the door. Well, Kevin, they paid off a lot of credit card debt. Yes, they did. But we're done. We just charge it back up again. So let's face it. Nothing but a thing. We'll keep charging as much as we can. And let's face it, here in the U.S. versus some other countries, we don't value money as we should. So plain and simple, we're probably fine for this year. I think nothing really happens next year till we start to pay our taxes. And when people start to notice how much of our tax credits we were pushed forward and how much we're going to owe in taxes, next summer is going to be a doozy. Next summer, mathematically, should start the pullback because not only is there less money available, not only will a lot of the money already be spent, but tax bills here in the U.S. are going to kind of be through the roof for what some people are expecting, and it's gonna hurt. I'm expecting one of my highest tax bills ever, and we're saving for it now. We're saving for it this year, so it'll be interesting. Do I think it's going to be hyperinflation? Probably not. Janet Yellen agrees with me. I'm not sure her vote is worth anything right now, but it might get a little scary. Let's just say it that way. Yes, it might get a little scary, and things are going to be different. Things are definitely going to be different, and it'll be interesting to see where we end up, is what I'm going to say. But I don't have all the answers yet, so we will see, right? We will see. With that said, I'll be honest with you guys. I've bought a lot more for Christmas now than I ever have before. And not only that, but this year I've bought a lot more gifts for me than I have before as well. So it will be interesting to see, is what I'm going to tell you. Any questions you guys have? Jeff Schaffner, you came a little late. You will want to listen to the first part of this again. Probably won't have it out till mid tomorrow, but interesting comments on Costco and Facebook that will be, I think you'll find important for you. All right, I don't see any more questions coming in. Do give me, well, all right, I'm going to call it a night. You guys take care. Have a good one. I will get this posted. It will probably be midday tomorrow. I am doing the best I can working through the system for Schwab. So some of you will start to see packets go out tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We hope to have every packet out by Friday. And we'll get the transfer started next week so we can get through the majority of our earnings, which will happen this week. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Pleasure being with you here. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday morning. Take care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye-bye.